All right, time now for one of our favorite things we do every year. Nick Wright, GM consultant.
Yes, sir. So, after finishing among the top mock drafters last year, NFL GMs know that you, Nick Wright, are the secret to nailing the draft. Once again, all 32 teams have your number and are on deck and to call you tonight in case they can't make a final decision. So in the extremely likely scenario that some of them call you to weigh in on their pick and get them right, you need some practice. I'm going to play an NFL GM calling you with a dilemma, and you've basically got 60 seconds to convince me what I should do.
Okay. All right. So, DeMonze, if I have this right, is going to play different GMs for different teams. The first one, well, DeMonte's just going to tell us, and I am playing myself. Easy roll for me. DeMonte, oh, wow, there it is. Take it away.
Hey, Nick. It's the Jags GM, James Gladstone. We're picking an offensive player to help restore the prince to his throne. Will Campbell is off the board. Do we draft a weapon for Trevor Lawrence, or do we draft someone to protect Trevor Lawrence? 60 seconds, go.
All right, so if you're dead set on an offensive player, then this is an easy pick. You don't need to draft Mimbo. Probably it's not that it's too high for him, but you at the 5th pick, you want to be able to say you got the best player at a position. This is not a wide receiver draft. You had Brian Thomas Jr. last year. I thought you guys would go defense here, potentially Mason Graham out of Michigan. But if you're going offense, there's no question who you take. You take Ashton Genty. You take Ashton Genty at number 5. You then also call teams like, say, the Dallas Cowboys and see if they want to give you a mid-round pick for Travis Etienne, get more draft capital. But the answer is you take Ashton Genty if you're dead set on offense. That one was easy. I mean, again, I think they're probably going to go defense, but that one's easy. All right, who's next, DeMonze?
It's Saints GM Mickey Loomis. Hey, don't say it, man. I'm going to fix the cap eventually.
No,
Cam Ward is the only quarterback taken, so we can pick the future face of our team. But the Giants are calling with a great offer to trade back into round 1. We don't really know what's going on with Carr, so now could be the time to take our cap medicine and retool for next year. Do we trade the pick to New York, or do we draft a quarterback? 60 seconds.
Oh, this is very easy. You trade the pick to New York. However, you really need to squeeze Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen is terrified he's losing his job. Joe Schoen, because of that, does not care so much about future draft capital because he thinks it might not be his to deal with. So what you need to do is hang up on New York and tell them, hold on, you're getting another call, you got to call them back. And then you need to call them and say, wow, we just got an unbelievable offer for number 9. So what we're going to need is your second this year, that's obvious. But we're also going to need your 1st round pick next year, your 3rd round pick next year, and a 5th this year. That's what you're going to need. And Joe Schoen, you know what he's going to say? He's going to say yes. Trade back, squeeze him. Take advantage of the desperate guy. He doesn't want to take his kids out of private school. He doesn't want to have to move. Take advantage if you're going to do that. And you'd be moving down 25 spots, Mickey. All right, who's next, DeMonze?
Hey, Nick. It's Mike Tomlin with Pittsburgh. Our GM has given me the final decision. Ward is still the only quarterback off the board, so we can finally go with other options. However, Rodgers just called, begging us not to take a quarterback and sign him instead. Do we draft a quarterback or do we sign Aaron Rodgers? 60 seconds.
All right, well, what you should tell Aaron Rodgers is that, you respectfully and you appreciate him and no hard feelings, but you can't work on his timeline. He'll understand. It's what he told you guys already. I don't love Shador. However, at 21 and with the potential upside and with the fact that the Steelers are the one team that can, I think, deal with the potential, is Dion going to be the head coach noise better than anybody without it affecting their head coach because you're there, Mike Tomlin? I think you tell Aaron Rodgers to kick rocks, and I think you draft Shedeur Sanders and you try to move on to the next iteration of Steelers football. That's what I would do, Mike.
Okay.
You like that one? I also don't think you know how to use that phone, Mike.
Yeah, I do.
I think that's too old-timey of a phone. I think you were talking into the receiver. I think the whole thing. All right, who's next?
Nick, it's Brandon Beam from the Bills. Don't hang up, please. You're the best in the business, and we need you, man. We can go in any direction here at 30 or even trade back. What do we need to beat your Chiefs? 60 seconds, go.
All right, what I would recommend you do, Brandon Bean, in this draft. This is the real advice. In this draft, there is not a huge difference between players that are going to be taken at 20 and at 40. So you need to call up the Cleveland Browns and tell them, hey man, heads up. We're getting a lot of calls of teams that want to move into our spot to get what's going on here.
Wait. We're getting a call. Your Chiefs are trying to trade up. Tell us what they're planning to do and if we should fall for this trap again. You know they've got.
Okay, obviously, Brandon Bean, hang up on the Chiefs. Just hang up on the Chiefs, Brandon. Yeah, there you go. You don't do business with the Chiefs. What you need to do is call the Browns and tell them someone's trying to move up to get Jackson Dart. You know they need a quarterback. Get an extra pick from the Browns, move back 4 spots. That's what you need to do. Now, sadly, that does probably mean the Chiefs will end up taking the player you wanted after you move back, but it's the prudent move. That's what you need to do. Great job. Great job, Brandon Bean. Yeah, no problem.
So
I enjoyed that game. I enjoy that game every single year.